ब्रह्मवरेण च दोर्भ्यां ब्रह्मवरेण च वशे सपालान् लोकान् त्रीन् वशे सपाला लोकां स्त्रीन् अकुतः मृत्युः उद्दतः अकुतो मृत्युर्उद्दतः चक्रे हिरण्यकशिपुर् दोर्भ्यां ब्रह्मवरेण च वशे सपाला लोकां स्त्रीन् अकुतो मृत्युरुद्यतः चक्रे हिरण्यकशिपुर् दोर्भ्यां ब्रह्मवरेण च वशे सपाला लोकां स्त्रीन् अकुतो मृत्युरुद्धतः चक्रे made Hiraṇyakaśipu दोर्भ्याम by his two arms, Brahmavarena by the benediction of Brahma, Cha and Vashe under his control, Sapalan along with their protectors, Lokan the three worlds, the worlds, three, Akutah Mrutyuhu fearing death from no one, Uddataha puffed up. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. The elder child Hiraṇyakaśipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds, because he received a benediction from Lord Brahmā. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. Please repeat the translation. The elder child Hiraṇyakaśipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds, because he received a benediction from Lord Brahmā. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction, and he was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As will be revealed in later chapters, Hiraṇyakaśipu underwent severe austerity and penance to satisfy Brahma and thus receive a benediction of immortality. Actually, it is impossible even for Lord Brahmā to give anyone the benediction of becoming immortal. But indirectly, Hiraṇyakaśipu received the benediction that no one within this material world would be able to kill him. In other words, because he originally came from the abode of Vaikuntha, he was not to be killed by anyone within the material world. The Lord desired to appear himself to kill him. One may be very proud of his material advancement in knowledge, but he cannot be immune to the four principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age and disease. It was the Lord's plan to teach people that even Hiraṇyakaśipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. One may become as strong and puffed up as Hiraṇyakaśipu and bring under his control all the three worlds, but there is no possibility of continuing his life eternally or keeping the conquered booty forever. So many emperors have ascended to power and they have now lost in oblivion. This is the history of the world. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So after their birth, after they developed their bodies, what did they do? This is explained in a nutshell about Hiraṇyakaśipu, because the entire discussion is about Hiranyaksha and Varaha. So this verse clearly says what was Hiraṇyakashipu's plan and how did he execute it. Chakre Hiranyakashpur Dorbhyam Brahma Varenacha. Hiranyakashipu, because of his benediction from Lord Brahma, Brahma Varenacha, Dorbhyam, by his arm strength, by his capacity, by his power, by his mighty, Vasheshal Pala Lokam Srin. Vashehe, he brought under control. Sapalan, whom did he bring under control? All the rulers. Where are these rulers? Within these three planetary systems. So how he was able to become so strong? Akuto Bayaha. Because of his not being able to kill by anyone, which was the benediction of Lord Brahma. And when he received this benediction, what was his mood? Uddataha, he became puffed up, arrogant. So Hiraṇyakashipu was unafraid of death. Hiraṇyakashipur akuto mrityuhu. From anyone within the three worlds, because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. Brahma Varenacha. He was proud and puffed up, Uddataha, due to this benediction, and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. Chakre Dorbhyam Vashe Sapala Lokam Sri. So he brought under complete control. Vashe Sapalan Trin Lokan. Everywhere within these 14 planetary systems, except Lord Brahma. Everybody was under his control. So in the purport, Prabhupada says how he achieved this perspective. Hiraṇyakashipu underwent severe austerity and penance to satisfy Lord Brahma and thus receive a benediction of immortality. Actually, it is not an immortality, it is a long span of life. Because nobody is mortal in this material. Everybody are supposed to die, destined to die. Martya Desha. Martya means one who is destined to die. So Hiraṇyakashipu received the benediction that no one within this material world would be able to kill him. No living entity created by Brahma. That was the actual point. Because in this material world, everybody were created by Brahma. So he thought by this benediction, nobody can kill him within this universe. And because he was originally from Vaikunta, that applied to him. Nobody created by Brahma could kill him. Because Lord personally came to kill him, to satisfy but that benediction of Brahma also, to kill Hiraṇyakashipu also. So Lord's plan was to teach people that even Hiraṇyakashipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. So sometimes Lord performs his pastimes to teach to the whole world through his own devotees. Sets an example. So that everybody can realize whatever plans we are making, they are all destined to fail. So many emperors have ascended to power and they are now lost in oblivion. That is the history of the world. So we should come to practical reality. Everybody is thinking, everybody is going to die except me. This is one of the conception. There was one Yaksha Prashna. When Yudhishthira Maharaj met this Yaksha, there were so many questions asked. When he was specifically asked, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Ahani ahani bhutani gacyanti hamalayam sheshastavaram icchanti kimascharya matah param. Everybody are seeing day and night. The people surrounding him are dying and going to Yamaloka. Gacyanti hamalayam. Ahani ahani bhutani. Ahani ahani means day after day. Bhutani, all living entities. Gacyanti hamalayam are dying and going to Yamaloka. Sheshastavaram ichyanti kim ascharya mata param. But I am going to stay here forever. Kim ascharya mata param. There is most wonderful thing. Everybody is thinking, except me, everybody are going to die. I am going to stay forever. This is the most wonder. This is called as eighth wonder. There are 7 wonders. This is the 8th wonder. This is because he is in most type of ignorance, darkest type of ignorance. So this is the thing what Krishna wants to make us realize. You want to stay eternal, this is because you are of quality of inherent nature of eternality, but it is not possible in this material world. You have to go back to spiritual world. Now what kind of austerity did Hiraṇyakaśipu do that he was able to satisfy Brahma? So in the 7th canto, Bhagavatam explains, Hiraṇyakaśipu Rajan Ajeyam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratidvandvam Ekarajam Vyaditsata. So Narada Muni was explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj about this entire history. He is saying, my dear Rajan, oh my dear King Yudhishthira. So he wanted to become Ajeyam. Hiraṇyakaśipu, he did tapasya for what purpose? Ajeyam, unconquerable. Then Ajara. Jara means old age, not to become old. Free from old age and dwindling of the body. Ajara. Then Vyadhishtata Atmanam Apratidvandvam. He wanted to gain all yogic powers. Ashtasiddhi. Apratidvandvam. Nobody can compete with him. Dvandva means 2. Apratidvandvam means nobody can be his second. Nobody is equivalent to him. And Amaram. He wanted to be deathless. And Ekarajam. He should be the only king in this entire universe, including Brahmaloka. He is saying, you give me a vara by which I will become your boss. This was his intention. So, his intention was unconquerable, Ajeyam, Ajara, free from old age and disease, Amara, deathlessness, Ekarajaha, one king of the entire universe, Apratidvandvam, without any rival. Then, where did he do tapasya? This is the intention. Now, what did he do further? Satepe mandara dronyam tapah parama dharunam. So, there was a hill by name Mandara Parvata, which was used in churning of the ocean. Mandara Parvata. So, at the top of that hill, Satepe, he did tapasya. Paramadharunaha, of extreme austerity. Very difficult austerity, that is. Paramadharunaha. Urdhva bahur nabo drushtihi, with his hands raised, Urdhva bahu. And nabo drushtihi, looking towards the sky. Pada angushtena ashrita avanihi. And by standing with his toes on the ground, pada angushtena avanita ashritaha. How was he standing? He was standing on the toes. Standing on the toes, hands raised, head in the top. This is Paramadharunaha, extremely difficult austerity. Then, Jata diditi bihi teje samvartaka iva amshubihi tasmin tapas tapyamane deva sthanani bhejire. Jata diditi reje teje. From his hair, a brilliant light came out, which was as Samvartaka iva amshubihi. And Samvartaka comes at the time of dissolution. The heavy light which comes at the time of dissolution, the light emanated from his hair was of the same capacity. Then, Tasmin tapas tapyamane, because of his extreme austerity, Deva sthanani bejire. Even demigods were very much disturbed. So they also became very much disturbed. They went back to their respective places. So Hiraṇyakaśipu was thinking, why Lord Brahma? What was his capacity? Why I should take shelter of him? He says, Shushva characharamidam tapo yoga samadhina adhyaste sarva dishnebhyaha parameshti nijasanam tadaham vardamanena tapo yoga samadhina kalatmanosya nityatvat sadayishyate tatatmanah. So, Parameshti, Lord Brahma, who is the supreme person within this universe, has Nijasanam, got his exalted position. He was thinking how Brahma became so great. So, Parameshti Nijasanam, he was able to sit on his respected throne because of Tapo Yoga Samadhina, because of his tapasya and because of his yoga and by his meditation. Austerities, mystic power and trance. Because of this capacity, Brahma achieved his post. Then, Shushva Charachara Midam. After this, he was able to create various living entities. Chara, Achara, moving and non-moving. Then, Adhyasya Sarva Dishnebhyaha. He became the respectable personality within this entire universe where everybody started worshipping him. So, Kalatmanasya Nityatvat. Since I am eternal and time is eternal, Tadaham Vardamanena Tape Yoga Samadhina. I will also endeavor like that. Tapa Yoga Samadhina. I will also do like that. Because I am eternal and since time is eternal, I will also do the same process. Then, Sadayishye Tatatmanaha. And I shall accept the same post occupied by Lord Brahma. This is called Guru Mara Vidya. You get benediction from Guru, then kick the Guru and you sit on that Guru's post. He is offering all the prayers to Lord Brahma. After that I am saying, I am going to kick you and I will become Brahma. So then when Brahma, he did tapasya for 100 years of demigod's period. So during that period, his entire body was eaten away by ants, insects. Only skeleton was there and there was an ant hill above his body. But still, because of his yogic power, that meditation was continuing. Gross body was almost lost. Just a skeleton was left over. But he was alive and he was doing tapasya. And because of his sincerity, entire world started experiencing a disturbance. Then all the demigods went to Lord Brahma and requested him, my dear sir, please do something. We are not able to survive. Then Lord Brahma came to the place where Hiraṇyakaśipu was doing tapasya. From his kamandala, he sprinkled water upon that skeleton body of Hiraṇyakaśipu. So because of that blessing from Brahma, Hiraṇyakaśipu regained his vitality as if he was like that youth man, the strong built body. He regained that body back. As soon as he saw Lord Brahma, he started offering various prayers. At the end, Brahma said, I have become very much satisfied by you. What benediction do you want? Then what benediction did Hiraṇyakaśipu ask? Yadi dashyashi abhimatam varam me varadottama Bhutebhyastab vishtibhyo mrutyurma bhun mama prabho. He is saying, oh my dear Prabhu, oh my dear Lord, Varadottama, oh best of the givers of benedictions. Yadi dashyasi abhimatam varan me. If you are desiring to give me any benediction to me, then Bhutebhyastvad vishtebhyaha. Any living entity which is created by you. Vishtutebhyaha, Bhutebhyaha, Tava, which was created by you. Mrutyur ma bhun mama, nobody can kill me. This is the first benediction. Then, Nantar Bahir Diva Naktam Anyasmadapi Chayudaihi Na Bhumo Na Ambare Mrutyur Na Narer Na Mrugerapi. Further he is adding, Na Antar Bahir Diva Naktam. Neither inside, Antar Bahihi, outside, Diva in the sky, Naktam in the night, Anyasmad, if there is anything else, Cha Ayudaihi, by any weapon, Na Bhumau, on the ground, Na Ambare, in the sky, neither in the day nor in the night, Mrutyuhu, I should not become death, Na Narair, Na Mrugerapi, either by man or by animal, Vyasubir Vasumadbir Va. I should not meet death from any living entity, either living or dead, neither living nor dead. Then Sura Asura Maha Uragai, either from any demigod or from any demon, Sura Asura Maha Uragai, or by great snakes. Apradidvandatvam Yuddhe, I should not be undefeated in the Yuddha. Nobody can conquer with me in the Yuddha. Aikapatyam cha Dehinam, and I should be the ruler of all the Dehinam, all living entities. Sarvesham Lokapalanam, which includes Sarvesham of Lokapalanam, of everybody within this, including the administrator of the universe. Mahimanam Yatatmanaha, and my glories, Mahimanam Yatatmanaha. Tapo Yoga Prabhavanam, because of this tapasya, austerity, yoga by mystic power, Prabhavanam by my influence capacity, Jai Shri Radha Govinda ki. Yanna Rishyati Karhichid. So, which cannot be lost at any particular point of time. Now, how was Hiraṇyakaśipu killed? Now, how? Wherein Lord Narasimha appeared, how did he appear? From the pillar, so which was not created by Brahma. Then he captured Hiraṇyakaśipu. Where did he place him? On his thigh, which is neither ground nor sky. Where did he sit at that time? On the entrance of the house, which is neither inside nor outside. What time did he catch him? Sandhya, which is neither day nor night. Then he is neither man nor animal, no weapon. So how did he kill him? By his nails, which is neither living nor dead. It is living because it is growing. It is dead because it has no life in it. See the logic. Why specifically nails? Neither living nor dead. There is one verse glorification of Narasimha, Nakastuti. Prayers to the nails of the Lord, which were so great that it killed Hiraṇyakaśipu. One of the great acharyas offered this Nakastuti to Narasimha. So, technically, if you see, all the intelligence possible of Hiraṇyakaśipu was baffled. Even Brahma became baffled. How it is possible? They could not correlate. Keeping the instructions of, keeping the benedictions of Brahma also, killing Hiraṇyakaśipu also. That's why Lord is beyond logic. If you want to cheat the Lord, Lord is the greatest cheater. Everybody will think, I want to do something. But you cannot beat the Lord in his logic. So, beyond imagination capacity, this is what Lord can perform. Lord is so great. Why he became great? This is because of his unique quality. So, similarly, devotees also, now, how do they behave? What is their intention? Now, demoniac intention we saw. Now, how acharyas they perform. See, in our Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, one great Acharya by name Brahmanya Tirtha, who was the guru of Vyasa Tirtha. So, in his life history, like he also had performed various miracles. Now, how it is possible? How they can perform these miracles? Because of their devotional perspective and absolute faith on the Lord. So, he appeared in a village known as Abbur, and it is most of his lifetime he spent there in that particular place itself. So, this Abbur is glorified in Brahmanda Purana as Jnana Mantapa. And this is a place where Lord Kanva Muni, this is a place where a great sage by name Kanva Muni did austerities and tapasya there. Hence the river which is flowing by that area also known as Kanva river. So, the Purushottama Tirtha, who was the previous Acharya, who was a disciple of Jai Dharma Tirtha, once he visited Abbur, and he became very much attracted by the serene atmosphere there, peaceful nature. There is a very ancient Narasimha temple there, on the top of the hill, where Lord is worshipped as Kambada Narasimha, Lord coming out of the pillar. You will see a pillar, in between Lord coming out of the pillar. That is how the Lord is worshipped there as Kambada Narasimha, Lord coming out of the pillar. So, Purushottam Tirtha accepted that place there and he started worshipping Lord Narasimha. So, there was a Brahmana couple in the nearby area called as Ramagiri, that area, by name Ramachari. So, he came to Abbur with his wife, seeking the blessings of Lord Narasimha and of Purushottama Tirtha. Because they had been doing tapasya for a long time, anticipating for a child, but they could not get. They thought, when great personalities bless, it can be possible. So, by the mercy of Guru and Lord, they had a child and they named him as Narasimhacharya. As Narasimha grew up, he manifested exceptional intelligence and he became very fine acumen. He had fine acumen in understanding Vedic scriptures. So, Garbhastame Abde Potam Tan Upaniya Dvijottama Purushottama Tirthaya Nikatam Prahinot Vatum. So, at the age of 8, when he achieved the 8th year, so he was initiated and he was sent to the assembly of Purushottama Tirtha for further education by his parents. So, Purushottama Tirtha taught him all the intricacies of Vedic literatures in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya. So that this boy became so much proficient and learned and deeply realized all the intricate aspects, understanding his sincerity. He was awarded sannyasa and he was given the name Narasimha. That Narasimhacharya became known as Brahmanya Tirtha. And he was the youngest sannyasi of that particular point, and that area, that hillock where they were engaged in Narasimha's worship is called as Tiruvengalanatha. That is a hillock where Lord is being worshipped. So after his Acharya passed away, he became the head of that Mata. And many people came and started seeking shelter in him, and they started accepting devotional perspectives under his guidance. So nearby the Kanva river, there is one more village by name Malur. There was a deity known as Aprameya Swamy. If you are going to Mysore, you will see Maddur, Malur, Maddur Narasimha, you will see Malur Aprameya Swamy, you will see that is Krishna's deity Aprameya. Means nobody can measure beyond his capacity. Prameya means to understand. Aprameya means one who is beyond understanding capacity. So Brahmanya Tirtha went to the temple. So after visiting the temple, having darshan, he came back to the river. And he saw a ghastly scene where one person was floating in that river with his hands and legs chopped off. And he was in his desperate situation praying for somebody to be identified and to be pulled and to be saved. So feeling compassionate on the living entity, Brahmanya Tirtha immediately instructed his disciples to bring him ashore. So he was brought to the shore. So then that boy was pleading, please save me, please save me. So seeing his pitiful cries, Brahmanya Tirtha immediately took some Charnamrita and spilled on that boy. And he was praying to Lord Narasimha and Aprameya to give him a good opportunity. So by the blessings of the Guru, immediately this boy became a normal man. Like his hands and legs came back. Then he started asking that boy, who are you and how are you created in this situation? He said he was the prince of a nearby kingdom. Whose father name was Timmarasu and this boy's name was Sarangadara. And they was in the dynasty of Chikka Gangavadi. And their area known as Channapatna was the kingdom in which his father was ruling. When his mother passed away, his father married one more young woman. This woman was not yet satisfied by the old man, so she was trying to bring his son also into conjugal perspective. This boy flatly rejected, you are my mother role, I cannot see you in any other understanding. No, she wanted to play a drama. She informed the king that your son is trying to entice me. She fabricated false statements. So without conducting the details, the king immediately asked the soldiers to capture this prince. As a punishment, chop off his hands and legs and throw him in the river. So when Brahmanya Tirtha heard of him, then this boy wanted to say, I wanted to surrender my life because you have given me a life. I wanted to surrender my life unto you. I wanted to become your disciple. But seeing the future prospectus, Brahmanya Tirtha said, no, you go back and you will become the king, and there are many other things which has to be performed under your guidance. But he said, no, my father will not allow me, entertain me, all these things. He said, no problem, you can go back. Your father has realized the mistake. He got the details perfectly done now. He will be receiving you with much warmth and hospitality. So as predicted by Acharya, when he went back, his father was very happy. He announced a festival that my son has come back from the death. When he understood how he was recovered, then he became very much interested and he came to see Brahmanya Tirtha and fell down at his feet and he offered obeisances. And he said, the entire my kingdom is at your lotus feet. Please accept. Then Brahmanya Tirtha said, no, we are not interested in kingdom or maintaining this kingly perspectives and all. Please keep it back with you. Then at least Brahmanya Tirtha, at least that Timmarasu said, at least accept this village as your own gift. So finally that Abbur village came under the guidance of this Mata, under Brahmanya Tirtha's Mata there. Then while proceeding to various places, Brahmanya Tirtha came to a village known as Bannur, where the king of that area was known as Venkatagiri Nayaka, who had a vice minister by name Balhana Sumati. This Balhana Sumati, even though he was very well versed in Vedic knowledge, he was very much attracted to that impersonalistic understanding. And this Bannur was the village which was established by Lord Ramachandra while he was going towards from Hampi down towards that Rameshwaram side. So there was one ancient temple of Lord Ramachandra in that place. So when Brahmana Tirtha came to visit that temple, have darshan, the king, Venkatagiri Nayaka, he became very happy, thinking that the great personality has come to his village. He along with his minister went there to receive the Acharya. So when he stayed there, by his preachings, the entire people became accepted into devotional perspectives. Even this person with impersonal understanding, he accepted the intricacies of devotional perspective. He even became a devotee. This minister, Balhana Sumati also. Then further he became the disciple of Brahmana Tirtha. So one day Brahmana Tirtha was engaged in worshipping of Lord Rama in that Bannur temple. He suddenly heard a cry of a woman from outside in very piteous way. So Brahmana Tirtha, when he was thinking what might be the situation, why is that woman crying? Suddenly a flower which was offered to the deity fell down. Then he understood, might be will of the Lord, something is there. So he immediately took that flower and some akshata. He went outside and he saw one lady crying there piteously. As soon as the Swamiji came out, she went forward and fell down at the feet of that Swamiji and started praying. As soon as a woman came and fell down at his feet, he immediately, taking that akshata, blessed her by saying, Dirgha Sumangali Bhava. And after hearing that his instruction, that lady started even further crying. Then the people suggested this lady and her husband were trying to engage in tapasya for a long time to achieve a son. Since they could not achieve, they were on their way to Kashi. This man was very healthy and hardy husband. Suddenly when they came here, he had attacked with a fever and he died. And you have done Ashirvada, Dirgha Sumangali Bhava. Husband is dead. So then he said, see, whatever words have come from my mouth cannot be false. This is the will of the Lord. So please accept this Charnamrita and take it and sprinkle on your husband. He'll come back to life. So immediately she took that Charnamrita which was offered to Narasimha there, his worshipable deity, what he was carrying. So he went and sprinkled on that husband, and as predicted by Acharya, he came back to life immediately. So both wife and husband came to Acharya, immediately paid obeisances. And they said, our life is at your command. We will dedicate our life to you. What do you want us to do? So then Acharya said, don't worry. Very soon you will have a child by the mercy of Lord Narasimha. You have to surrender that child to the Mata. As soon as he takes birth, you should bring and hand him over to us. In the meantime, the king also, understanding this pastime, immediately came with a golden plate filled with fruits. Acharya accepted only the fruits and handed over that golden plate to that family couple. And he said, the child, as soon as he takes birth, he should not touch the ground. You should bring him unto me in this golden plate itself. So they became very happy, went home. And after very few months, she became pregnant. And everybody were able to perceive the glow in her face. Such a great personality, a great devotee. A parampara Acharya was about to come in her womb. As predicted by Brahmanya Tirtha. She became like that we see in Bhagavatam where Devaki, she was experiencing that beautiful glow around her face. Kamsa even perceived that beautiful glow. So like that the entire village was able to perceive the brightness in her face. On a good auspicious date, a child was born. So immediately Acharya got to know that the child was born. By his meditation, he immediately sent some brahmanas for doing the jata karma and the other rituals for the purification of the child. After a few days of that purification done, the child was brought and offered to the parents in a golden plate as suggested and brought to the Acharya and left at the lotus feet of the Acharya. So Acharya immediately called the devotees there and asked him, what is the status of this boy? Somebody said he'll become a sannyasi, somebody said he'll become a king. So Acharya was laughing. And he had asked the disciples to perform the Namakarana ceremony. So this boy was named Yati Raja. The conclusion of both. As a sannyasi, as a king also, he'll be the king of sannyasis. Yati Raja. Then the small boy was being fed. So there was a tree outside the temple. So Brahmana Tirtha used to hang his chadar, and that boy was made to lie down there, and a small swinging was happening. And whenever the Abhishekam was happening, the Abhishekam, the Charnamrit, whatever milk used to come, they used to feed the baby. In that way, that baby was growing also. And in a very short span, he became an ardent personality, immediate, very receptive, very perspective. So he was trained perfectly by the Acharya Brahmana Tirtha, that this boy was given sannyasa at the very young age, at 7 years old. And he was named Vyasa Tirtha. A revolutionary personality in spiritual perspectives. So one day Brahmana Tirtha became very eager to have darshan of Lord Panduranga. But because of his old age, he was not able to travel, he was not able to make the distance. He was feeling very bad that he was missing the opportunity of having darshan. So that night Lord Vittala appeared in his dream and said there was no need for him to travel to Pandharipur. I am present here itself. So he went to a location and went inside the earth there. Immediately his sleep broke up. And he realized the place where he went into the hiding into the ground is actually that hill where they are staying. So next day morning he took his disciples and he went to that exact location where the deity vanished into the earth. Lord Vittala vanished into the earth. They started digging there and they found an exact deity like Vittala in Pandharipur. The deity was brought out and the deity was worshipped there. Even now if you go to Abbur temple, we'll see the deity of Lord Vittala there, which was as replica as Pandharipur. So near the village, once upon a time, there was that Abbur, entire village became afflicted by famine. There was no food, no water. So Brahmana Tirtha immediately started engaging all his people and the village people to dig a huge lake. So when they started digging, there was a huge boulder there, which was very difficult to be moved. So people came and said, unless this boulder is moved, we will not be able to make a proper lake. So when Acharya came there, when he touched that boulder, he came to know that boulder was infused with Hanuman deity. So when he touched that, then he got to know, then he immediately offered respects and he prayed. Then that boulder was moved, it was able to be moved and was brought aside on the top of the lake. Then the lake was done. As soon as the lake was done, there was a heavy downpour that the entire lake got filled immediately by water. In the meantime, this Vyasa Tirtha was also sent to Sripadaraja Tirtha at Mulabagal for training. So he also finished his training. So there Sripadaraja Tirtha came with Vyasa Tirtha to Brahmanya Tirtha. All the three were there and they established this Hanuman temple there. The deity which came out of that rock was the first deity which was established by Vyasa Tirtha under the guidance of Brahmanya Tirtha and Sripadaraja. In his entire lifetime, he had established 732 Hanuman deities in and around that area. Why these 732? So Vyasa Tirtha in his previous life, he was known as by name Bahallika. So in that Mahabharata Yuddha, he was fighting with Bhimasena. He bet Bhimasena with his Gada with 732 times. So he wanted to beg forgiveness because Bhimasena, Hanuman in the same Madhvacharya, the same Vayu, same incarnations. So to pacify, he had established that 732 beatings with 732 deities of Hanuman, which almost look exact all around that places. So that is one speciality of this particular temple there, and these deities and devotees. So when this boy was a little older, Brahmanya Tirtha on an auspicious day disappeared on the day of Ekadasi. In the Vaishaka Masa, Krishna Paksha, in the year 1467, he entered into Vrindavana. So then Vyasa Tirtha became the next Acharya of the Parampara. So one day when he was sitting in front of the Guru, he was inspired by his Guru to compile a book by name Brahmanya Tirtha Guru Raja Panchamalika Stotra, in glorification of his Guru. He had compiled this book. See how an Acharya's perspective, where Brahma is asked to make a person alive or not to die. Hiraṇyakaśipu was asking. Brahma said, I cannot do that. But here an Acharya was able to bring back a dead man to life. He was able to bless various personalities. How it is possible? By the mercy of the Lord. Because there Lord wanted a demon to take birth and to perform various pastimes in that mode. Here Lord wanted a devotee to perform the pastimes in a different. So everything happens by the will of the Lord. So we should be just nimitta matram bhavasavasachan, become an instrument in the will of the Lord, in the will of the Guru, and execute our mission. That should be the point of what we are trying to understand here. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेम. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 17, Text number 19. Chakre Hiraṇyakaśipuh, Chakre Hiraṇyakashipur, Dorbhyam Brahmavarena cha, Dorbhyam Brahmavarena cha, Vashe Sapalan Lokan Trin, Vashe Sapala Lokam Strin, Akuta Mrutyuho Uddataha, Akuto Mrutyur Uddataha, Chakre Hiraṇyakashipur, Dorbhyam Brahmavarena cha, Vashe Sapala Lokam Strin, Akuto Mrutyurudyataha, Chakre Hiraṇyakashipur,